this year's the conference is playing on the note of some of the things we've seen in the last couple of years with the pandemics and the supply chain problems. And so this year we're reimagining innovation, how we can change those things and improve those things in business to business marketing and sales. And for those of you that are in,
I think there's an issue in the sound. We cannot hear you. At least for me.
I'm sorry?
Yes. Now, yes. I think sound.
I could hear Wes quite brilliantly, I must say.
You can hear me or not?
Yeah, now is good. Now is good. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I need to be a little bit closer to the computer then. So anyway, reimagining innovation in business-to-business marketing and sales, turbulent ecosystems, empowered buyers, and runaway inflation. Some of the things we've seen recently in the world, in our economies, and in our business activities. So the aim of the CBIM International Conference is to gather academics, professionals, and doctoral students from around the world to promote a rigorous, candid, and friendly, and we have always emphasized on friendly, to help other people, especially doctoral students, in the discussion of current and potential future topics in business-to-business marketing and sales. And I was about to say that with respect to sales, we know how important sales is in the marketing program, or the marketing mix, as you prefer to call it, for business-to-business companies. And one of the statistics that I've had in my head for a long time is that with respect to B2B versus B2C, is that with respect to B2C, it's about 25% of the marketing budget goes to sales, and in B2B, about 75% of the marketing budget on average goes to sales. So, and because of our long relationship with the IMP group, I have been a member of the IMP group since the first meeting, and we also discuss relationships and networks. And I know there's a few people from the IMP group who will be attending the conference. And it's a great group in Europe. Some of you may know of it. If you haven't had a chance to attend one of their meetings, they always have them in nice places. That's one of the things I like about the group. And then every other year, they have one IMP Asia meeting. And this year it's going to be in Okinawa, Japan. And I was told that the criteria of the IMP group for their Asia meetings is that it's got to be a warm place with a beach, because it's held in December. And so thank you again for joining our international conference. And I hope you enjoy the fellowship of the other researchers. And I really like Jose's idea of opening it up for just a group discussion, drop in, visit others, explore possible research interests in the business-to-business marketing area. And I hope you enjoy the atmosphere of friendly and rigorous. We should always comment on others' papers. We like them, presented well, but then have you thought about this, or maybe you should do this? So I'm also the editor of the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, and we always, with respect to this conference, have a special issue around the theme of the conference. Now, it's not best papers from the conference, will be around the theme of the conference. But of course, all the papers at the conference fit into the theme of the conference. So, but this year, Jose has done an amazing job. We've got 10 journals supporting the conference, and there'll be 6 special issues of the journals, again, around the theme, or maybe a track theme, but we'll work that out so there's no conflict or overlap. And then 4 other journals are also willing to accept or invite papers from the conference. And the special issues, there they are. The Journal of Business Research, Roberto Mora and I will be the guest editors for that. Industrial Marketing, Journal of Business Industrial Marketing. I don't know, Jose, have you worked out all the guest editors for each of these?
Lorena Blasco and Jailan. Are you there, Lorena?
And then
I'm here. Hello. So I am the one of the special guest editors for the special issue in Industrial Marketing Management about B2B engagement specifically and how to leverage B2B engagement in automated and technological environments. And I am co-editing that special issue with Yaela Nasser, Matthew Alexander, and Christian Kowalkowski, who is in the session as well.
Thank you. And then apart from those special issues, they're the ones that are inviting your papers to be submitted to them. Marketing Intelligence and Planning, Tourism Review, European Journal of Marketing, of Management and Business Economics, and Management Decision. So there's a great opportunity, and we try to have this every year for you to turn your conference papers into papers in a journal. And Jose probably has told you that we are not going to be issuing a proceedings from the conference papers, because journals now see that even if it's online, if you publish something in a proceedings, that's your paper, or that gives creates a problem for your paper. It used to be we could publish the proceedings, and then if a paper was accepted for a journal, we just take it out of the proceedings. But the journals are getting stronger and stronger, so we will have a recording though of the conference. And special thanks to our keynote speakers, and they are Professor Christian Kowalkowski, who I know well, and Michael Klein-Attenkamp, who I've never heard of before, other than I know he's a good guy. Actually, Michael and I have stayed at one another's houses, and we've been friends for a long time. And see, he retired. I told him not to do that, but he did. I think he's having a lot more fun retired now. And then we have someone who I have not met, and she will be one of our keynote speakers as well. And I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Ogechi Adeola.
Ogechi Adeola.
Oh, is it close enough? No, I'll practice it, I promise. Well, thank you for joining us as a keynote speaker this year. And of course, I have to thank the conference organizers, and Jose's already mentioned those, but there's Jose and Barbara and Maria and Pablo. Is Pablo with us this morning?
I think he should be joining us maybe a bit later, because he has another meeting, but he will join later.
Well, great thanks to all of you for organizing this conference. And Jose was one of the organizers last year, and it was very well done. And we were all, I think, so happy about the way the conference ran and the breakout meetings, and it all went very, very well.
We had last year Thomas Ritter, who was managing this, very strict with the timing. I learned from him. I think he's joining us. Are you there, Thomas?
Of course, I'm here. I'm looking so much forward to see your so wonderful Zoom skills later when the breakout rooms come. So I'm having a really good time. Thank you.
We have a good.
There's another guy I don't know very well. How are you this morning, Thomas?
I'm very fine, thank you. The sun is shining, it's warm, and I'm well entertained by a good conference. What not to like?
Great. And here's our scientific committee. These are the people that were involved with helping with reviews and suggestions on papers. And some of them will be track coordinators. Some of them may only be with us briefly. I know Roberto Mora, who was heavily involved last year, has got another commitment, but I think he'll be joining us in a short time, along with Thomas, who will talk about some of the changes in the journal. Now, here's our thanks also to the sponsors. These are the universities that have provided resources in the way of people or money to support the conference. And a little bit about the conference. It was started in the center. It was started in 1993, and then the conference started in 1996, as I mentioned before. So we are over our silver anniversary of conference at 25. We're now at 26. And The center works with companies and organizations. We do research projects. We hold training seminars, and primarily we use that money to fund faculty and doctoral student research. And we also host international visitors, typically from 2 to 4. But in the last couple of years, because of the pandemic, we have really not hosted anyone, but we're always open. And we have hosted 3 Fulbright scholars, and I know there's a 4th Fulbright scholar from Vietnam who is waiting to come, and she has the funding. We don't know exactly when she will be coming though. And we also partner with other universities. We have had a long partnership with the Institute for the Study of Business Markets at Penn State. We've also sponsored programs with the National Central University in Taiwan, and also not the good guys right now, but the National Research University in Russia. And I was actually on a Fulbright scholarship there myself, and I was an advisor to the dean. But the Russian people are wonderful. I just don't know what's going on with their leadership. It's not a good time. This is one of our friendly conferences we had in the early 1990s when we first began having conferences. As you can see, everyone was having fun, and the conference turned out very well. But we have something in mind for the future though, and that is in 2026, when we have the North American FIFA World Cup, we are going to have a big gala. We're going to rent a stadium and have thousands and thousands of people come to the conference. I hope, Jose. So that's a brief introduction about the center and the conference, and to welcome you. And now I'd like to switch to Thomas and Roberto to tell you a little bit about the changes that are going on at the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing. And I hope you have published in the journal. If not, I hope you will publish in the journal.
One of those, and we hope that if you don't consider those all the great journals which are hosted here, that one of the hubs of this community is the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, and we see ourselves pretty much like the CBIM as a kind of community hub where we develop B2B ideas, B2B research, and B2B approaches. And what you also see, well, all you guys who have your papers here, you know what we're talking about. So Roberto, maybe you go ahead a little bit, that and maybe a little bit more farther, that we are on now on the on the headlines of the business press. Yeah, so all the disruptions going on all the crises which are going on bring B2B topics to the front of the debate. So what we try to do here with the JBIM, and of course with the whole community, is establish a kind of debate, understand and learn. And these are great times for B2B marketers in the face of this crisis. I think if we get this on, we would not only get better vaccination, we will also get better businesses. So, and this is our idea to support systematic, be a forum for systematic B2B research, looking at the business ecosystem. It looks terribly complex. Actually, we are interested in 3 major areas. We are interested, of course, in the people, which are the B2B decision makers. We have a lot of technological changes going on, and we have a lot of social transformation going on. So we are interested in B2B topics in all of these areas, and we are interested in systematic approaches, ecosystem approaches. So, and when Wes was then talking about moving ahead with the journal, he got in touch with Roberto and me, and we already had a lot of fun in developing this. And one of the concerns might be, well, where would we start from? Well, we found out, Roberto and me, that the journal is actually in a very good condition at the moment. We did present this, well, a couple of weeks ago in Budapest to the EMAC conference, and we already got a lot of good feedback on this. And Roberto, maybe you move one ahead a little bit. That we see that one thing is what we find. One thing which we as incoming associate editors found, we will not have too much trouble to find good papers. And I think this conference, we already see a lot of things in the pipeline, so we don't have much headaches to get good papers, maybe more in terms of finding the appropriate reviewers for that. And then the other thing is, you see the journal is rising, so we're getting good impact factors which are being up, and citations are going up. And I think, well, I think that's one of the advantages of being a community, yeah, with all these associated journals. So I think there's a lot of cross debate, and you see that also in citations. So we're looking at the figures. We have always, I think JBIM is one of the signatures of JBIM is that it's pretty international. If you see this, United Kingdom, China, Germany, so pretty broad-based journal. We see this also with all the big diversity in our audience here. And well, going a little bit further ahead, I think this is now something. Well, thinking about complexity, one of the things is if you, well, we know as B2B guys, if you face a complex business environment, you add complexity, you move towards a network or towards an ecosystem. And the same we are doing at the moment with the journal. So one of the major steps for the future is that we enlarge the editorial board. And so Wes will still be in the center stage of this. Unfortunately, Ivan cannot do this, so because he's not with us anymore. So we'll see somebody from IMP is probably stepping into that. And well, Roberto and me are quite happy, and we have a lot of enjoying this to work with Wes together.
Yeah, let me just have a word there, Michael, about the IMP group. It is the IMP journal and the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing merged a couple of years ago, and the IMP has what's called an IMP forum within the journal, and the editor-in-chief for that was Yvonne, and Antonella is the senior associate editor. So I've been talking with Antonella, and of course, it's a difficult decision to make because Yvonne's been a member for so long, and they're just suffering now from his death. But I expect we will have a new editor-in-chief for the IMP forum. Maybe they'll make that decision at the next IMP meeting. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear from Antonella. But we miss Yvonne greatly, and he was a major contributor to IMP and to the journal and to business marketing and relationships.
Okay. So, and then the other thing is we have a broader associate editor team, a lot of great people coming in to the associate body editor team. We have started to also make personal contacts along that. So a lot of things going on in the background here. And we will also define some sort of sections for each editor. So of course, the thing is we want to have a broader range of specializations which we can supervise and review this. Yeah, a couple of things we have in mind. Of course, any B2B topic is appropriate for the journal, but some things we are interested in is multi-level systems approaches, where we have these different, for example, psychological, social, or technological areas in a systems approach, multidisciplines. One area where we think marketing has to learn a lot of is making best use of real-time data. I think this is transforming all the types of research methods. So we're interested also in the new types of research methods we need in these data environments. couple of new article formats. A lot of this, I think, you find in many marketing journals. One thing we are thinking about is stimulating, well, of course, advancing theory and methods, but also thinking about of the lost reviewer. We get so much insights from reviewers, so why not make this public? And another signature which of the JBIM will be well, also involving managers in the research process. So driving this management, practice-driven research. Couple of initiatives. There's a data governance. Actually, I can make an announcement. Next week, we will have the data governance symposium in the University of Graz, and Christina Mehle, I think she's like a former foreign minister where we have who had the reputation that he's meeting himself up in the air with all his airplanes crossing across the oceans. So Christina Mehle will visit Graz and will do something on blockchains, RNG, which also some of you know. So we'll have a data governance symposium, and I will also share during this conference. And if you want to, we will also screen. I just found out we will also do a screening, so you can also, if you want to participate in this, do a screening, and that will be also a major topic, which will be part of JBIM. Then major areas, a lot of work going on in the background, but areas where we will be looking at marketing organization, entrepreneurial marketing, creativity, capability and buying decisions. I think also emerging markets is also an area where we want to, I'm happy to see this African forum on this conference, and I think these are areas we also want to have promote in the JBIM. So then Roberto, I think, is maybe you want to take over this, who is also trying to make advances with performance measures and so on. So.
Okay, thank you, Michael. I hope that you can hear me all. And if not, Michael, you will need to come back to be the voice. But we have been working on some goals, and the publication experience we wanted to be improved from the time perspective. So we are trying to develop some algorithm to learn how reviewers behave. So the experience is good for both the reviewer and the authors. And also, of course, deriving from that, we want to increase the number of readership that's strongly associated with the impact factor. And finally, what we are measuring is many times based on the ranking of the journals. So we are working on how to improve the ranking of the journal. However, something that we have been discussing and I have been thinking about for a long time is that overall the strategy in the field has been at the individual journals than trying to push their own goals. And I think the smart thing to do is that we behave as a community, and all the journals in the topic, Journal of Business to Business Marketing, Industrial Marketing Management, and ourselves, we kind of develop a joint strategy so we can move as a field. Because if we move as a field, we're going to benefit all the journals in the field. And so far, there has been minimal attempts to do that. So that's something that I'm very interested, that we behave and think more as a community instead of as competitors. So that's something that I would like to put a lot of energy on.
Yeah, and I think Jose, you did a great job with supporting this, with the bringing in this broad range of journals here to the conference. I think this is a good starting point for that.
So in that effort of community, we believe that the conference, for example, this year, who was managed by Jose, is extremely important, because if we want to behave as a community, we need to have instances where we can share together our thoughts, our ideas, as researchers, as friends, as human beings, but we need to be together. It's not possible to have a community without being in touch. In the future, we will see if we're going to be back to the face-to-face interaction, but even though we need to be in touch, and I think this conference is a great effort to move forward in that direction. So our message is that we are working hard, but we want you to be part of that endeavor. We want you to be part of that trip. So Michael, and I think Wes and myself, we are completely open to receive ideas. We want to build the journal, and as I say, the whole field based on how you see the field and how we can move forward. So I think that you need to all feel welcome to send us ideas. Hey, I have an idea for your journal. I'm open to it. We are not a closed door. We are going to make an open door for ideas, for challenges. If something is happening for good, let us know. If something is happening for bad, let us know. The only way to improve is to take in charge of problems and opportunities. And we want to see that instead of being behind, we want to be in front of any kind of possibility to be better.
So thank you so much, Michael and Roberto. Just to remind that one of the special issues that we have this year is enjoyment business industrial marketing. And the guest editor is Brian Rutherford.
Roberto raised a really very important point, and that is about, and Michael as well, about reviewers. And reviewers, without good reviewers, a journal really struggles. And the reward for reviewers at universities seems to be declining. But if we want to build a strong community around our journals, we need to have good reviewers. And so if you're a reviewer for JBIM, please accept it when you get invited. And if you're not yet a reviewer for JBIM, volunteer. We'll be happy to send you invitations.